Good evening. Welcome to Hermit Woods. What a wonderful crowd. I'm so happy to see a room full of smiling faces. Thank you so much for coming out tonight. Quick question, how many of you have been here before? How many of you have never been here before? Oh, wow, we have a lot of new faces. Excellent. Welcome. We're so happy to have you. And thank all of you who have been here before. Thank you for coming back and bringing your friends and enjoying the show with us this evening. I'm Bob Manley. I'm one of the co-founders here at Hermit Woods Winery. This business was founded a little over 12 years ago by three of us, and I'm very pleased to say all three of us are here tonight. My partner Ken and Chuck. Ken is the winemaker who made all the wine you're drinking tonight. So we couldn't be here without this little trilogy here. It's been a wonderful ride, so thank you. I'm just going to give you a little background for a minute here. We are a winery. That's what our vision was 12 years ago. We wanted to turn what was a hobby that had gone wildly out of control into actual commercial business before the federal government found out about us and arrested us for making too much wine in our basement. So we actually we started a business to make wine in my home 12 years ago. We convinced my lovely wife to convert her master bedroom into a tasting room, and yes, that's how she responded too. And yes, thank you, Darylyn. Without that generous offer, we might not have been able to afford all that was necessary to make this happen. And we started small. Literally, our tasting room was in formerly our master bedroom, and we grew our winery in my home for 3 years until it really did become something somewhat successful. We had enough people coming into our bedroom, I'm tasting room, sorry, that we were in need of more space. So in 2013, we purchased this building and have been growing our business here ever since. The reason we're all here tonight in this space is something else that's important. Around the same time we started our winery in 2011, there was a new listening room starting up at Pittman's Freight Room. Anybody heard of Pittman's? Excellent. Well, I got a chance to see some amazing music in what I learned was a listening room environment. This was something really special to me. I had not participated in this experience before, and I fell in love with this idea, a way to enjoy music like none other that I had experienced before. And I saw many different shows, and I learned about the organizer of this, John Lorenz, who was putting these shows on for us. And I got to know John, and unfortunately, that organization didn't continue. It went on for a few years, but eventually went out of business. And when we were looking for what to do with this space up here, which really was an 80s law office that had really gone wildly out of shape and had peeling wallpaper and musty carpet, and it was 6 little spaces with low ceilings, and it was quite a horrible place. But we had to figure out what could we do with this terrible space, and with a little vision and a little bit of effort, we put this space together over the last 5 years, and we did it in the hopes of creating a listening room like I had experienced 12 years ago. And I was fortunate enough to be able to get in touch with John, who consulted with us, along with many other people, to help bring the things together that had to come together to make this room happen. This is, as much as wine has been and continues to be a passion of mine and my partner's, music has always been a close second. We've always appreciated and valued really wonderful music in our lives. And now having an opportunity to have our very own space where we get to bring some of the most amazing music that I've seen probably in my life since we created this about a year ago. We've been doing this for a little over a year. And if I have my way, and if you folks will keep coming, we will be bringing music to this stage for the rest of my life, which I hope is a long time, because I don't want to go anywhere soon. So thank you. Thank you. On that note, I also would like you, if you could maybe give a round of applause for our hardworking team down in the kitchen and our servers. Thank you. We most certainly wouldn't be here without them. So excellent. And another round of applause for Chris Miga, who puts this stage together for us and does our sound. And honestly, I couldn't do this without Chris, so thank you, Chris. Thank you. A couple things before I get the band up here. I know you guys didn't come here to hear me talk, so I will bring music to the stage, I promise. But I do want to share a couple things. We have some amazing shows coming up. The Ian Imai Hall Quartet. This is a unique show. I saw this act perform in Portsmouth about 5 years ago, and this gentleman is a tap dancer. And he's going to tap dance to a jazz quartet, and I can't wait. It's really amazing. And so next Thursday, he's going to be here tap dancing for us to jazz. A really neat experience. And then we started a new series on the last Wednesday of every month. We have a series called the Songwriter Roundup. We partnered with Katie Dobbins, and she brings unique singer-songwriters from all over New England to the stage and does a really fun event. We've been selling out some of these events. They've been really popular. They're the last Wednesday of every month, and August 30th is the next Songwriter Roundup. And then on August 31st, we have Andrew Emmanuel Trio, and this is also a really special show. We've decided for the next 4 months, the last Thursday show of each month will be dedicated to raising funds to the Lakes Region Children's Auction. So 30% of all of our ticket sales on the last show of every month are going to go directly to the Children's Auction to help raise funds. And thank you. We have been supporters of the Children's Auction in different ways over the years, and when we created this venue, I thought this is a perfect opportunity to bring people together, hear beautiful music, and support a really great cause, so thank you. Really excited. We just booked our final show. We have 4 shows coming through, and the last show, some of you may be familiar with, we've had this show here before. It's Charlie Brown's Christmas, and it's the last show on November 30th before the auction takes place the following week, so you'll look for that to be posted soon. So I also want to throw some love to some other music venues in the area that also take music very seriously. The Purple Pit. If you haven't heard of it, they're in Bristol. They also have a listening room series. They take music very seriously, like we do. And if you love great music, look them up. They're in Bristol, New Hampshire. And Sap House Meadery, who also started as a meadery around the same time we did in 2011, they started a listening room series in Ossipee, New Hampshire, downtown Ossipee. Don't blink, you won't see it. I think there's just a handful of businesses there. But anyway, they're a great group of people, and they have a great show. I did get a chance to attend one. So Sap House Meadery, you can look them up online. All right, so enough of this. This is a listening room. You all know, I've said it enough times. So we do ask that you please refrain from talking during the performance so that we can all really enjoy and appreciate the performance like we wouldn't be able to otherwise. This is not only an opportunity for you as an audience to appreciate the beautiful music coming from the stage, but believe it or not, these musicians need you as much as you need them. And your ability to stay quiet allows them to have a relationship with you that they might not otherwise be able to have if it was a different type of environment. So we ask that you, if you have a phone, just take a moment to make sure your ringer's off so we don't have any phones ringing during the show. And I also want to point out that over on the right side of the stage, we have some merch. Our artists tonight have some music available, and David is also an author. There's some wonderful books, and an artist, an illustrator, some beautiful work over there. So if you want to support our artists in other ways, you could do so after the show at the merch table. There's lots of lovely things. I will throw a shout out. I just read about a month ago, I just finished his Finding the Source is a book he just finished a year or so ago, and I read it, and it's an absolutely amazing book, page turner. I've purchased 3 more and shared them with my friends because I love it so much. So if you have any interest in that, that's over there as well. So I'm so excited. David Kobrenski and his band of musicians, his trio here, have played here before. I've also had the joy of watching David play play, or Dave play, in other bands and in other scenarios over the last 7 or 8, 9 years. And he's one of my favorite musicians. He and the other folks who are going to be performing tonight, they're absolutely amazing. And the music that they put out to you is just phenomenal. It's sort of a blend of West African music meets contemporary jazz in a really special way. So you're in for a treat. If you have not heard this group play before, you're really going to be pleased, I think, to be here. So enough of that. Without further ado, let's bring to the stage Tim Gilmore on drums, and I hope he's right down there at the bottom of the stairs. There he is. Welcome, Tim. Thank you. And Jed Wilson on piano. And of course, Dave Kobrenski. Welcome, Dave. Enjoy the show.
Well, good evening, everybody, and thanks for being here. Thanks so much. It's great to see you all. And we love being in this room, and we love what you guys have done. And Bob, thanks for telling the story of how you got to this place today. And we're so privileged and honored to be a part of it and be able to play music in this beautiful space. I'm not going to say too much right now because I think we're kind of jazzed to play some music, and you know, that's why we came here. So, again, thanks for being here tonight, you guys. What should we do next, you guys? Okay. All right. So, I'd like to tell people just briefly a little bit about the instruments I'm playing tonight, in case you're not familiar with them. I studied music in West Africa, as maybe you know by now. And the instruments I'm playing here, the first instruments I was playing is they're called ngoni, or kamale ngoni is its full name, and it means the young person's harp. And it's actually based on a very ancient instrument, a family of instruments that goes back many, many centuries in West Africa, and called the danso ngoni, and the family of instruments is called ngoni in general, and they're all stringed instruments. And it's thought to be one of the ancestors of the banjo, some of the ngoni instruments. The danso ngoni, which danso means the hunter, means hunter, so the danso ngoni is the hunter's harp. It was very, very serious music, and could only be played by people who were initiated hunters. And this was very serious business in the village. And sometime around the 1950s or so, there was a lot going on sort of everywhere in the world, but in Bamako, Mali as well. Kids in Bamako started to hear blues and R&B music for the first time in their lives coming over the airwaves. And they recognized something fundamental about that music in the scales and the tonality. And of course, because the music had come full circle across the centuries. And so they realized they could play blues and R&B music on this very sacred danso ngoni, which was frowned upon by the elders of the region, who didn't like to see this sacred instrument being played with blues and rock and roll. And so after a long feud between the generations, they came to an accord, and that agreement was that they would invent a new instrument for the young people. And that instrument became the instrument that I'm playing today. And the kamale ngoni is the young person's harp. And it had many different names before they kind of settled on this kamale ngoni name. And the kids would get together at night with their new instrument that they invented themselves, and strung it with 10 strings instead of the normal 4 or 5 that the danso ngoni had, and they included higher strings so they could do more with it. And they'd throw these parties at night in the village where they all get together and dance. And the elders of the village thought it looked like they had fleas when they were dancing. So its original name was flea, the Malinke word for flea, or puce in French. And it evolved in some very different ways over the course of the coming decades. And now it's one of the most common instruments that you'll hear in modern music coming out of places like Bamako, Mali, in West Africa. And it's kind of now morphed with some other instruments. For instance, the kora, the instrument I played on that last piece, is actually a hybrid of the 21-stringed kora, which played court music traditionally, and the kamale ngoni. So there you have a little history of the instruments here. Like a little D minor or something. Tim Gilmore on drums. I just wanted to say that it's a big thrill for us too when it works out. Hey, that's Jed Wilson on the piano.
You're leaving all the pitches to me? Batter, batter.
So you're on pitches.
Shortstop.
Shortstop. flat minor.
Yeah, why not?
Should we check with Tim?
Yeah, check it out. It's okay by me.
You okay?
That's Tim's specialty. Flat minor.
Thanks again for being here tonight, everybody. We're getting warmed up here. We're having some fun. Hope you're having some fun, too. So this little instrument here is, it's kind of, is it deceptively simple or deceptively complex? I don't know. It's near and dear to my heart, this little flute, which back in 2001, for reasons that are too complicated to get into in this moment, but
Deceptively complex.
deceptively, right. I started my journeys to West Africa, following this music that I had fallen in love with, the music of West Africa, of the Mandinka people. And at the time, it was the djembé drum that brought me there to West Africa. I was sort of fascinated by it. I wanted to know everything there was about it and who the people were that played it and what music was actually played on it. And it started this 20-year journey that led me on all these other paths that I really couldn't have imagined, right? Sometimes it's not the thing that you think it's gonna be. Along the way, I met a man named Lansini Konde who showed me this flute, which is called tambi in the Malinke language, or sometimes commonly known as the Fula flute. The Fulani people and the Malinke people both share this instrument in common. And I guess that was back in about 2003 or 2004. I met Lansini, and we became, like best friends over the years, kind of like brothers. And I was his apprentice, both on learning this flute and playing it. And as it turns out, it was a little bit of a dying art in West Africa. There's not a lot of people who play these or make these. And Lansini didn't have any students of his own in Guinea, in the country of Guinea, where he's from. And so I became one of his first and only students. He had several students throughout the years after that. But he passed on his knowledge of making this three-holed flute. This is why I say it's deceptively simple, because there's only 3 holes, right? How hard can it be, a 3-holed flute, right? Look at all the keys this guy has over here, man. That guy is he's like a genius or something. He got 3 holes, you know? But the tricky thing about it is that just with those 3 holes, you have to be able to make about 2.5 octaves of music. And if that wasn't enough, you also have to sing into it. But it is a finicky instrument, and I always wondered if it would be possible to play this instrument that isn't typically tuned to a Western scale, but rather a scale that ethnomusicologists like to refer to as a equidistant heptatonic flute. Just because there's only 3 holes, they had to make it a little bit more fancy sounding. So equidistant heptatonic, what does that mean? It just means all of the notes are spaced equally. There's no whole tones or half tones like we have in Western music. But over the years, I designed one, made one that was tuned sort of to a Western scale, which is kind of what I'm doing tonight. This is sort of a Western scale. There's some notes that are colorful, shall we say. They stand out in a crowd. The embouchure is made with beeswax, this special kind of black beeswax. This bee only, I've heard, only lives in 2 places in the world, and that is West Africa and parts of Australia. And it's a very small, stingless bee. Thank God, because these guys steal all of their beeswax from their hives, and they make these huge hives about like 50 or 60 feet up in these trees, and they send the little kids up to go get it, right? Because who's going to go up that high, right? So they send these little 7-year-olds up about 50 feet into the tree to gather all the beeswax, and it's and the beeswax that these bees make is actually this black beeswax because it has, I guess, it has a high propolis content. Propolis, that's a thing, right? Yeah,
I thought so.
Yeah, right? You thought so, right, yeah.
I pegged it for high propolis, yeah.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. And apparently this stuff, this beeswax, this black beeswax, is good for a lot of stuff. You can, over the years that I was there, I saw people patching holes in their roofs with it. I saw them fixing the soles of their shoes with it, and of course, making flutes out of it. And so Lansini taught me how to make these flutes, and sort of forever indebted to him for both the knowledge of how to play it, and he passed on much of his traditional repertoire to me over the years, but also how to make these flutes. And what was I going to say about that? I don't know. I had a funny story and I forgot it. So I just deprived you of my funny story. Sorry. But anyway, the Fula flute or the tambi, deceptive, right? Yeah. So I'm being deceptive now. So anyway, there's the Fula flute. I would like to tell people a little bit about the instruments that I'm playing here tonight. And sometimes this behaves, and we'll see if it continues to behave throughout the night. Let's go back to this land. That's Tim Gilmore once again, everybody. How about that? Mr. Jed Wilson on the piano. All right, what are we doing here? I remembered what I was going to say, by the way. Right in the middle of Tim's drum solo, I was like, but I'm not going to say it right now. All right, before you forget. I know, I might forget again. You're right, you're right.
We'll just have him play another drum solo.
Yeah, that's it. It brings it out, yeah. I remembered so many things during that drum solo. Yeah.
Yeah, that was like a chiropractor visit or something. Like an adjustment, you know?
Man, yeah, wow. I feel totally different, man. Yeah. Oh, boy. What do you think about A flat?
It's my favorite.
Are you serious? That's it's incredible.
No, they're all good.
They're all good.
They're all
good. I love playing with these guys, by the way. I get to be up. I feel like I'm cheating up here. I get to be up here and watch this artistry happen up here, and I have like the best seat. It's the only reason why I do it. I want the good seat. Yeah, let's do kind of like. Glad to hit a button.
Don't stop now.
Okay. Yeah, I know. Did
I have to start repeating.
We played the whole album.
man?
You should actually explain the process. They probably
Yeah, people might find that interesting, right?
find that interesting.
So this process to which Tim refers.
We call it the process.
The process.
We sent it off to the patent office.
It's
under such heading.
It's deceptively complex. So we basically like to think of it this way. We have no idea what we're doing.
The process. The heart of the process.
The process, right. The process is somebody starts with a note. Can be any note. And then somebody else plays something else. And then something happens. It evolves. So we just want to let you know that we haven't run out of songs because we don't actually have any songs.
It's our secret. We never have a song.
That's right. That's right. That's right. I
That's the
can't.
trick to never running out of songs is never having a song.
I mean,
Great.
I can't write a tune to save my life. But we have a lot of fun doing it. It kind of grew out of this improvisatory. What the heck? That word is deceptively complex. This process of improvising and listening, and it's a really fabulously creative and scary process sometimes, right? Just to try to make stuff up out of thin air as we go, but it's like having a conversation, right? We're just a couple of blokes having a chat up here, and we hope you enjoy it too. And I think maybe we're gonna do like one more or something like that. Maybe, right? Right? So, do you know which song that is?
Yeah.
I don't know what key it's in, so. And before we head off too, I just want to let you know that I wrote a couple of books, and they're over there, and there's some CDs over there too, and the books all grew out of these crazy adventure trips to West Africa that I'd be kind of scared to take now. No, I don't know. But you know, traveling in West Africa is not for the faint of heart, and but it's well worth it because there is no in Guinea, for example, there is no tourism industry. There never has been. I don't see one coming in the near future. So you have to know somebody there, and you have to really trust the people that you're with, because it's kind of like the Wild West, the Wild West Africa. Sorry, I don't know. Sorry. Tim, do another drum solo.
That's all you get.
But I spent a lot of time in West Africa with my art supplies. My first love is art, and my first two books are illustrated books about the Mandinka people. And my third book, my newest book that just came out this year, is called Finding the Source, and it's my very own narrative memoir of some of the crazy adventures I'd have over the years. And Bob said he liked it. Okay, all right, okay. All right. So I'd be happy to chat with you after the show, and let's play some music before we go, shall we? Let's do this. Yeah, and thanks again, everybody, for being here. You guys are a wonderful audience. Question is,
So many instruments. Which one?
it's kind of mellow. Do we want to do mellow, or do we want to rock the house? This one right here?
No, that one in front.
This one. You want this one?
I don't know.
Okay, we're getting requests. We're getting ngoni requests.
It just looks cool.
It is cool, right? I think they're cool. So by the way, these are made out of a calabash, big calabash, right? And with a goat skin stretched on the top. There's a sound hole on one side.
Can I ask what the calabash is?
Yeah, it's a gourd.
That's what I thought.
It's a big gourd. These things grow like, this is actually a small gourd. The gourds grow so big over there, they use them as wash basins. They put their kids in them and scrub them up, and they make water drums out of these huge calabashes. It's quite something to see. You'll have to come with me one of these
I will.
days.
Did you make these?
No, I didn't make these, but I did do some customization. So this one here is a little bit closer to traditional in the kind of neck that it has. I should get on the mic here. So traditionally, it was just one piece of wood that went right through the gourd, and with a bridge that sits right on top of the skin. The only thing that's holding that in place is the skin and these two cross pieces here. And traditionally, the strings were made out of gut, and they were lashed to the neck of the instrument. And every time you had to tune it, which was often, you had to crank the strings up and down, and it was not an easy process, so you just kind of hoped that they kind of stayed put for a while. Also, the process of getting the strings in the first place is not easy. There was loss of life involved, so never good. They by and large, abandoned that for easier methods. They're very, very pragmatic people. And so now they use high-tension fishing line. So that's what we have here. And they've adopted the modern guitar tuning peg, which is a great idea. So it allows us to more easily tune. Jed Wilson on the piano, everybody. Tim Gilmore on the drums. Thanks for being here, everybody.
Yeah, Jed.
My wife and son watched this.
It's kind of crazy.
It's really good.
Nice. Oh, they watched on the, we're stars.
Yeah, I know, right? So we can do
Thank you. Well, that's the fun part. We literally don't know what we're going to play before we do. We just.
this guy. Oh my
Thank you.
God. sounds good. We should do this. We should like do something, put something together. That was a few years ago. Thank you so much. I'm so glad you guys were here
Thank you.